Here, we're going to be on this thing all night tonight. California closes at 11 o'clock Eastern time, so hang on, folks. We got a long day. 15 states on the board. You heard the president said he thinks he might go 15 for 15. We'll see about that. But some of the big ones that stand out right now is California. Closes at 11 o'clock Eastern time, a whopping 169 delegates. That's winner take all if you get 50% plus one of the vote in the Golden State. Big pile right there in California. I'd also look at Texas right now, about 161 delegates. That's the listing here. North Carolina closes early in the night, 74 delegates. So we'll get a measure of North Carolina around 7:30 East Coast time. A few others here. Look at Virginia, closes early too. I believe 7 o'clock Eastern time at 48 delegates as well. And we'll see whether or not the president closed the deal and close it out. Maybe tonight is the night. We shall see. If Nikki Haley is to do well tonight, you got to pick and choose a little bit. And a lot of the attention for the possibility of her picking up some delegates tonight really go to the bottom two on the list. I'd say Vermont and Virginia, both of them have the ability for Democrats to vote in this primary here. So there's possibility she could get some of those delegates. But that's Jimmy, come on over here. That's why they play the games to see how this is going to go with all Super Duper Tuesday going here. Brett, watch your back, buddy.
All right.
I've always wanted to do that. Good morning to you. So how do you see it right now as we sit here at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Listen, the former president heading in is in the pole position. Obviously, he is, they're expecting to clinch mathematically by March 19th. But there's some drama here, as you point out, Virginia and Vermont, and how that splits in these open primaries. I think the big issue here is, will all the disaffected Republicans who have a problem with the former president, will they come home? And if you look at the polls that we've seen in recent days, boy, it is overwhelming that they are.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying we do not want President Biden for X number of reasons, immigration, age, whatever, and that's the issue.
Yeah. The other issue that we were setting up with David Spunt is this campaign courtroom calendar that President Trump has to manage. If you pull up here and you look at the fact that he's got these decisions in 2 weeks about Fonnie Willis down in Georgia, you got the New York hush money case, you got classified documents case, January 6th election interference case, and then you have the Supreme Court weighing in. It's so interesting how you could watch President Trump having a fight on all of these different fronts. And then you have somebody like Evan Osnos of The New Yorker who does this 1 hour interview with the president, or I don't even know if it was an hour, and is like, oh yeah, he's definitely running circles around everybody. He's a whirlwind behind the scenes. That's just not believable, especially when you see how President Trump is handling both the campaign and the legal issues.
Right. I mean, you just look at that New York Times Siena poll, 73% of Democrats and Republicans say the President Biden, is too old for the job. That's massive. And it's about 44% for former President Trump. Listen, I think that we don't know how all the legal cases are going to pan out as far as independent suburban women at the end of the day, once we get to a general election. But we do know that there is this painting of a picture that they're coming after him. And if they're coming after him, they're coming after him for a reason. And for Republicans, they're saying, listen, there's a reason here. And they are, for the most part, saying this is a political effort.
On the Haley front, what do you make of the reporting that no ads are scheduled past today? There might be an appearance or two scheduled, but I see a pretty empty calendar right now.
Which is very telling. As we said yesterday, we saw this with Florida Governor DeSantis. Once you get to that point, yeah, I mean, what is the path? Why do you do it? What is the future? I think the biggest story tonight, and the speech that former President Trump gives, whenever he gives it, will be how he handles Nikki Haley and how he handles Haley supporters. Because trying to bring the party together is really the big issue. Now, I don't know if she's going to be in the running for VP. It doesn't seem like that. They've had some sharp elbows between the two of them. But bringing that home is part of the messaging tonight.
What also about President Biden as he watches President Trump? Today there was a report in Axios that he really wants to go harder at the president and used even sharper language than loser and whatever other language he's using. Do you think that is actually going to put a dent in President Trump's support?
No. In fact, every time we've seen somebody go that way against former President Trump, it has not worked well. Remember the 2016 when Marco Rubio went down in the mud and kind of went after him on small hands and everything else. It really doesn't work. Now, the former president is going to do threat to democracy. He's really going to hit home January 6th. I'm hearing that's part of the closing argument. It's tough to say that that's
a part of Biden's closing argument, right? Rather than the vision for the country for the next 4 years.
When you're staring at an immigration problem that every poll says is massive, that may not be the best close. But in 2022, we didn't think it was an effective one either, and it turned out to be.
This whole thing about being magnanimous that you bring up, Lawrence and Brian were asking the former president last hour about that. He seemed to soften his language a little bit. Maybe in his address tonight, he goes further. And if he does, my sense is that 15 or 20% of Republicans would be like,
give us more.
Yeah, give us more.
Look, the Republicans who watched him in the Iowa town hall, the Iowa caucus town hall, were like, wait, that guy, look at this guy. And then they saw him in New Hampshire, and they said, wait, there's that guy. And I think that they're looking for the Iowa caucus guy, the people who have skepticism about the former president. But honestly, every poll you look at, Republicans seem to be coming home.
Yeah. Well, a long and great day ahead. We will see you, I guess, on Special Report and then tonight for special coverage.
I think it's
only
the nod,
27.
14 more hours.
We got it. Pace yourself.
Yes.
Pace yourself, indeed. Thank you so much.
You bet.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.